Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks to God. Okay, let's start our explanation sessions of today. It's about the accounting. Okay, it's about accounting and finance exit exam questions. Okay, in 2017 Ethiopian calendar. Okay, let's start. I will start the questions and then answers with their deep explanations. Thank you. The first one. The first one question says the weighted average cost of capital for a firm is the the weighted average okay, the weighted average cost of capital for a firm is a minimum discount rate the firm should require on any new project. Minimum discount rate a firm should require on any new project. B. Rate of return shareholders should expect to earn on their investment in this firm. Rate of return, weighted average. Okay, does it match? Okay, the third choice also. C. Rate of return a firm must earn on its existing assets to maintain the current value of its stock. This is the weighted average cost of capital, basically. Okay, this choice is the correct choice. Okay, D says discount rate, which the firm should apply to all of the projects it undertakes. But basically, the weighted average cost of capital for one firm, for one organization, for one firm is the rate of return. Okay, rate of return a firm must earn in its existing assets to maintain its current value of stock. To maintain its current value of stock. So the correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Okay, the correct answer is C. The correct answer is C. Basically, weighted average cost of capital is weighted average cost of capital land organization ወይም land firm የምንለው የሬት ኦፍ ሪተርን ነው that an organization the firm must earn ሊያገኝ የሚችለው ኦኬ must earn on its existing assets to maintain current value of its stock ይሄኛው ነው ማለት ነው it is okay the correct answer is C. Correct answer is C. Okay, let's continue for the second question. Second question says, which of the following funds would account? Which of the following funds would account for pass-through grants? Pass-through grants accounts for pass-through grants to a non-for-profit organization assisting low-income individuals. Basically, pass-through grant for a non-profit that assists low-income individuals is funding received now. From what? Donor. Funding received from a donor. Okay. Funding received from donor. Funding received from foundation. Funding received from foundation or some government agency. Some government agency that non-profit must transfer to a specific group. Okay, that non-profit must transfer to a specific beneficiary. So non-profiቱ ወደ ትራንስፈር የሚሆነው ወደ ለስፔሲፊክ ቤኔፊሻሪ ወይም ለስፔሲፊክ ኢንዲቪዥዋል ነው ማለት ነው። ለስፔሲፊክ ኢንዲቪዥዋል ወይም ፕራይቬት ፐርፐዝ ብለን እንቆጥረው ማለት ነው። ኢንዲቪዥዋል ለስፔሲፊክ ኢንዲቪዥዋል ኦር ለስፔሲፊክ ቤኔፊሻሪ ትራንስፈር የሚሆን ፈንዲንግ ቤዚካሊ ፕራይቬት ፐርፐዝ ትረስት ፈንድ የምንለው ማለት ነው። ኤ ስፔሻል ሬቪኒው ፈንድ is not it. B agency fund is not it actually agency fund. C permanent fund is not also permanent fund. D is the private purpose fund. Private purpose trust fund. This is the basic and the correct answer because as you have seen, the pass-through grant for a non-profit that assists low-income individuals means this is the funding received from a donor, foundation, government agency. that non-profit must transfer to a specific individual ወይም ለስፔሲፊክ ግለሰብ ለፕራይቬት ፐርፐዝ ትረስት ፈንድ ትራንስፈር ቢሆን ፈንዲንግ ነው ማለት ነው። ኦኬ ቴንክ ዩ። So the correct answer is D. Correct answer is D. Okay, let's dive into the third question. The third question. Okay, third question. It says all of the following investigations are made by audit firms before accepting a new client. Audit firms before accepting a new client. እንግዲህ ከአዲስ ክላይንት ወይም አዲስ ደንበኛ ከማግኘታቸው በፊት በአውዲት ፊርም ወይም ኦርጋናይዜሽን አውዲት ሲያደርግ ክሮስ ቼክ ሊያደርጋቸው የሚችለው ኢንቨስቲጌሽኖች የትኞቹ ናቸው? ከየትኛው ውጭ ነው? አጠቃላይ አሁን እነዚህ የተዘረዘሩት የአውዲት ፊርም አንድ አዲስ ክላይንት ከመቀበሉ አዲስ ደንበኛ ከመቀበሉ በፊት የሚሰራቸው ኮንሲደሬሽኖች ወይም ኢንቨስቲጌሽኖች ናቸው። ከየትኛው ውጭ ነው የሚለው ኤ financial stability of new client, prospective clients, yeah, basic. Prospective client standing in the business community, see relations with its previous audit firm, the investment prospects in an audit client by auditing firms. እንግዲህ በዋናነት አንድ ፊርም አውዲት አዲስ ክላይንት ወይም አዲስ ከስተመር ከመቀበሉ በፊት ብዙ ኢንቨስቲጌሽኖችን ያደርጋል። በዋናነት ቢፎር አን አውዲት ፊርም አክሴፕትስ ኤ ኒው ክላይንት ኢት መስት ፐርፎርም ሴቨራል ፕሪ-ኢንጌጅመንት ኢንቨስቲጌሽንስ። እንግዲህ ፕሪ-ኢንጌጅመንት ኢንቨስቲጌሽንስ የምንላቸው ነገሮች አሉ፣ ግምገማዎች ቱ ኢንሹር ዛት ዘ ኢንጌጅመንት ኢዝ ኢቲካል ሌጋል ኤንድ ፊዚብል። ያን ለማድረግ ሌጋል ኢቲካል እና ፊዚብል የሆነ ኢንጌጅመንት ያደርጋል። ዚስ ኢንቨስቲጌሽንስ ፕሮቴክት አውዲተርስ ኢንዲፔንደንስ ሬፑቴሽን ኤንድ ኮምፕላያንስ ዊዝ ፕሮፌሽናል ስታንዳርድ ሰች አዝ ዞዝ ፍሮም አይኤፍኤሲ አይኤስኤስ 210 ኤንድ ኦኬ። በእነዚህ ስታንዳርዶች ውስጥ ያለውን ኮምፕሌንስ እና ኢንዲፔንደንሲ እና ሪፑቴሽን ቼክ ያደርጋል ማለት ነው። አዲስ ክላይንት የራሱ የሆነ ፋይናንሻል ስቴቢሊቲ ሊኖረው ይገባል። የራሱ የሆነ ክላይንት ስታንዲንግ ኢን ዘ ቢዝነስ ኮሚኒቲ ሃው ሎንግ ኢት ስታንድድ and another is also in previous audit firm what was the relationship, yeah. So the customer which comes to the current firm should be checked about its previous relationships with auditing firms. That's previous data of the client. Okay, that should be also checked or investigated by audit firms. So basically the D, investment prospectus in an audit client by audit firms. In audit client by audit firms, this investment prospect is basically not major investigations for these things. Basically A is correct because financial stability of the new client, it should be what investigated. The prospective client standing in the business community, it's standing, it should be investigated also. See relations with its previous audit, this is also the major factor to see the previous audit's status. Okay, but D is investment prospectus is not also the major concern to be investigated by audit firms. So D is exceptional, which is not a major concern to be investigated by audit firm to accept a new client. Okay, so as the correct answer is D. Thank you. Let's dive into the fourth question. Let's dive into the fourth question. Fourth question says that it is about problem. Actually, this problem has some wrong sides. Actually, it has a problem. Okay, for it says Guna Share Company reported the following on its income statement. Report. This is a report from Guna Share Company. Income before income taxes. This is $600. Income tax expense $150,000. Net income $450,000. So analysis of the income statement reveals that interest expense was $60,000. Guna Share Company's time interest earned was time interest term. How many times interest was earned? This is a question for from share companies report for tuna share company. Basically speaking, we will start the calculation from times interest earned. Times interest earned. This is major prospect ratio we have to understand. Times interest earned. Times interest earned is equals to earnings before earnings earnings before interest. Okay, before interest, earnings before interest, earnings before interest and taxes, before interest and taxes. What I have said, times interest earned is equals to earnings before interest and taxes, divide by interest expense. Okay, interest expense. So by this concern, we will find uh, interest earnings before interest and earn. What I have said for the formula, earnings, okay, earnings before interest and taxes. The ratio of earnings before interest and taxes and interest expense. By this way, we will calculate times interest earned ratio, times interest earned ratio. So to now this, we have to calculate earnings before interest and taxes. This one, and you have to now this one also. Okay, let's start. Let's start. Earnings before, okay, earnings earnings before earnings before interest and taxes is equals to earnings before interest, okay, earnings before tax plus in earnings before tax plus interest expense, okay, interest expense basically. So interest expense is $60,000. Interest expense is $60,000. Okay, $60,000 interest expense. This is given here, and $600,000. In $600,000 is income before income taxes. Income before income taxes. That is earnings before tax. Earnings before tax. So earnings before income and tax is equals to $600,000. Okay, this one $600,000 plus plus 60,000, 60,000, 60,000, 60,000, which is equals to 660. Okay, 660,000, 660,000. It becomes 660,000. So for the next step, we will calculate about time interest earned. Okay, we have got earnings before interest, earnings before, okay, earnings before interest and tax, earnings before interest and tax is equals to 660,000. We have got this one. Okay, 660,000, 660,000. Okay, we have 660,000. So we have to calculate the denominator. Okay, time interest rate earned, time interest earned is equals to time interest earned is equals to, okay, the ratio, okay, the ratio interest expense, the ratio of what I have said, EBIT, interest before earnings before interest and tax divided by interest expense. So the correct answer should be 660,000. 660,000 divided by 60,000. 60,000. Okay, 60,000. 60,000. So the 0 cancelled by this 0, then 0 cancelled by 0. The remaining is 66 divided by 6. 66 divided by 6, it will be 66 divided by 6. So by 6 1, by 6 what, 11. So 11 over 1, 11 is the correct answer. It is how many times interest was earned? It's 11 times. 11 times. So basically the correct answer is not D, not C, it is D. Okay, it is D. So the correct answer is D. Correct answer is D. Thank you. Please subscribe the YouTube channel, then you can get recent updates. Thank you. Okay, let's continue to the fifth question. Fifth question. The fifth question is uh, about debit memo. About debit memo. Memo. Okay, fine. Under consequtive financial policy, uh, consequtive financial policy, a firm would use long-term finance under conservative. Okay, under conservative. Under conservative financing policy, a firm would use long-term financing to finance some of the temporary current assets. Long-term finance to finance some of the temporary current assets. What should the firm do when a dip in temporary current assets causes total assets to fall below the total long-term financing? Please understand this concept. What should the firm do in case or when a dip in temporary current assets causes total assets to fall below the total term financing? Okay. እሺ we will see እኒህ choice ዞኖችን እኒና A. Purchase additional plant and equipment. B. Use excess funds to pay down long-term debt. Okay, down long-term debt. Okay, C. Invest the excess long-term financing. C. Invest long-term excess long-term market financing in market security. D. Use the excess funds to repurchase common stock. Basically, total long-term financing. If a dip is temporary current assets causes total assets to fall down. If total assets fall down from the total long-term financing, so a firm should use excess funds to pay down long-term debt. ስለዚህ እነዚህ ረጅም እዳዎችን ፔይ ዳውን ለማድረግ ኤክሰስ ፈንዶችን የመጠቀም ግዴታ ይኖርበታል ማለት ነው። ኢንኬዝ ዲፕ ኢን ቴምፖራሪ ከረንት አሴትስ ኮዝስ ቶታል assets to fall below total long-term financing. So B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. Okay, let's dive into the sixth question. Sixth question. Sixth question. Yeah, this is about debit memo. What about the debit memo? Debit memo. You have to revise this debit memo concepts from accounting, auditing, and financial management courses. Okay. The sixth question says, which of the following statement demonstrates the debit memo document in the acquisition and payment cycle? Debit memo ምንድን ነው? ዴቢት ሜሞ ምንድን ነው? መረዳት ያስፈልጋል መጀመሪያ። ዴቢት ሜሞ ምንድን ነው? ዴቢት ሜሞ what is it? What is it ዴቢት ሜሞ? Also called ዴቢት ሜሞራንደም ይባላል። ዴቢት ሜሞራንደም ወይም ዴቢት ሜሞ ነው የምንለው ወይም ዴቢት ሜሞራንደም ይባላል። ዴቢት ሜሞራንደም ኦር ዴቢት ሜሞ ይባላል። ሶ what is it? It is basically an accounting document ነው። basically used to increase the amount a customer owes. ምንድን ነው ከስተመሩ ሊያገኝ የሚችለውን አማውንት ኢንክሪዝ የማድረግ or reduce the balance in a company's accounts payable depending on who issues it. እንግዲህ ሊጨምርም ይችላል ሊቀንስም ይችላል but it depends on the perspective that a company's account payable for who it should be issued or who it should be issued. It is the basic for who it should be issued. So depending on that, it may be increasing amount of customers out or it may be reducing the balance in a company's account payable. Okay, so let's see what is it. A. Debit memo is a document received from the vendor and indicates a reduction in the amount owed to a vendor because of returned goods or an allowable granted. B. A debit memo is what says B. A debit memo. A debit memo is a document prepared monthly and indicates the beginning balance, acquisitions, returns, and allowances payments to the vendor and ending balance. See, a debit memo is a document received from the vendor and shows the amount owed from for an acquisition. The debit memo is commonly used by organizations to establish a formal means of recording and controlling acquisitions, primarily by enabling each acquisition transactions to be sequentially numbered. But we have said debit memo is a count document basically, but which is used to either increase amount of customers or reduce the balance in a company's accounts payables, which depending on for who it should be issued. So basically, AA should be a correct answer. Why? Because it says a debit memo is a document received from vendor and indicates a reduction in amount owed to a vendor because of returned goods or an allowance granted based on returned goods uh, it indicates reduction in amount or owed to a vendor, which is uh, the first case we have seen is the definition of debit memo. So here is the correct answer. Here is the correct answer. Thank you. Okay, let's dive into the seventh question. Let's dive into the seventh question. Uh, okay, let's see. Which of the following international standard setting organization issued international financial reporting standards? IFRS. We call it IFRS or International Standard Setting Organization issued international financial reporting standards. So, which international standard setting organization has issued financial reporting standards? Financial reporting standards or IFRS. Okay, financial sector report የማድረግ ስታንዳርዶችን ያገኘ የኢንተርናሽናል ስታንዳርድ ሴቲንግ ኦርጋናይዜሽን የትኛው ነው እያለ ያለው? አንደኛ ኦር ቾይስ ኤ ኢንተርናሽናል አካውንቲንግ ስታንዳርድስ ቦርድ ኦር አይኤኤስቢ ኢንተርናሽናል አካውንቲንግ ስታንዳርድስ ቦርድ accounting. Okay, B International Organization of Securities Commissions or IOSCO. C Accounting and Auditing Board of Ethiopia or AABE. D International Public Sector Accounting Standards or IPSAS. But here it says financial reporting standards. Okay, financial reporting standards. So as we have seen in accounting and auditing courses, it is basically international accounting standards board. So correct answer is choice A. Choice A. Choice A is the correct answer. International Accounting Standards Board or ISAB has issued international financial reporting standards grant as 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 international standards level. Okay, okay, thank you. Let's see the eighth question. Let's see the eighth question, what it says basically. The eighth question, it is a problem also. It is a problem. Okay, let's see. Company A based in the United States has a subsidiary in Australia. The subsidiary reports net income of AU is $100,000, $100,000 for the year. The exchange rate at the end of the year is the exchange rate. Okay, the exchange rate at the end of the year is one USD is equals to 1.5 AUS. What amount should company A record as subsidiaries net income in USD? In USD. This is basically exchange rate in the exchanging currencies, and base exchange rate at the end of the year was given as 1.5 AUS, which is equals to 1 USD. So we have to simply change 100,000 AU dollar to 1 USD, to USD, to USD. Okay, it is all about dividing 100,000 by 1.5. ስለዚህ ይህንን ኤክስቼንጅ ሬት ተሰጥቶናል። በመቶ ሺህ አመት ላይ የሚያገኘው ሰብሲደሪ ሪፖርት ኔት ኢንካሙ ነው። ይህንን ደግሞ አንድ ዩኤስዲ አት ዘ ታይም ይህ ኢንካም በተገኘበት ታይም ላይ 1 ዩኤስዲ 1.5 ዩኤስ ኤክስቼንጅ ሬት ቢሆን ካምፓኒ ኤ ሪከርድ እንደ ሳብሲዲያሪስ ኔት ኢንካም በዩናይትድ ስቴትስ ዶላር ወር ዩኤስዲ ያገኘው ምንድን ነው የሚለውን ማካፈል ነው። እሱም ሲካፈል ደግሞ 100,000 divide by 1.5 it is 1.5. Okay, 1.5. It may be say yeah, you can cut this and it be okay. 6 times 1.5, it becomes around 990. Okay, then the remaining is okay, again 6 times, again 6 times. Yeah, remaining becomes okay, again 6 times, it becomes again 6 times. Yeah, around 66,666.67 kind of answer it becomes. So the correct answer should be choice B. Choice B is the correct answer. 66,066.66, repeating it is, but approximately 67. Okay, so B is the correct answer. It is all about the exchange conversion, right? Exchange conversion. Okay, let's see. The ninth question. Ninth question is about all of the following describe steps in activity-based costing except steps in activity-based costing. Activity-based costing except A. Compute an overhead activity rate for each activity cost pool. Step for activity-based costing. B. Identify activities and assign budgeting costs to activity cost pools. C. Compute an overhead rate for each department cost pool. D. Allocate overhead costs to cost objects or products. For activity-based costing, compute an overhead activity rate for each activity cost pool. Yeah, this is correct. This is correct. Okay. B. Identify activities and assign budgeting costs to activity cost pools. Identify and assignment. Identifying and assignment. Yeah, this is also correct. Okay. This is also correct. See, compute an overhead rate for each department cost pool. Computing overhead rate is not basically the step for each department. It's not the step. Okay. It's not the step. Okay. This is not the correct answer. Okay. D. Allocate overhead costs to cost budget objects or products. Allocation is this. Allocation is the step, but computing is not the step. So it says activity-based costing except. So the exception is C. C is the correct answer for us because it's not a step. Okay, it's not a step for activity-based costing. For this also you can refer a financial management course for your department. Okay, financial management course. Okay, thank you. Let's see the uh, tennis question. The tennis question you can see. It says about what's the present value of the following cash flow stream if the interest rate is 5%. This is about the interest rate calculations or basically interest rate calculations. Okay, interest rate calculations it is. Let's continue. What is the present value of the following cash flow stream if the stream rate is 5% year cash flow? For the first year, $200 is cash flow. For second year, $400 is cash flow, and the third year, $300 is cash. Actually, the formula starts that from present value. Present value is equals to okay. Present value is equals to what? Present value or PV. You can say what is it? What is it? Present value? Yeah, present value is equal to FV of V. FV is summation actually. Summation is all over summation. FV at time interval, okay, as per year increase. The whole divided by 1 plus interest power of the power of T or the years T. The years. This is the formula. The formula. For this formula, you can see 200, 400, 300 FVs are there for cash flows. You can say divide by 1 plus interest. 1 plus interest. Interest is given 5%. Okay, 5% means 0.05. 0.05. By using that, we have 3 years. The first one is the power of 1, and the second is power of 2. This is power of 3. if you calculate and end up for this, the final answer would be 812.812.44. I have calculated it. Please calculate. It becomes 812.44 or 436. It becomes approximately 44. Okay. Thank you. And thank you. And please subscribe the YouTube channel. Uh, then you can initiate us to do further, and you have also uh, recent updates on our YouTube channel. Okay, thank you. Let's dive into the next question. Question 11. Which of the following statement describes debit investment? It's an investment. Okay, it's an investment. A. Have not maturity rate. B. Can receive dividend. C. Can receive interest revenue. D. Can give ownership title. What it says? Statement describes debit investment. Debit investment. It is an investment. Debit. Debit investment. In debit investment, there must be interest revenue. Okay, interest revenue. Interest revenue. Uh, for debit investment, interest revenue is uh, the major or basic key factor. Okay, let's see. It is an investment which A. Have not maturity rate, B. Can receive dividend, C. Can receive interest revenue, D. Can give it the ownership title. Can receive interest revenue. This is the basic. The basic. When a statement receives an interest revenue, then it is basically a debit investment in banking. Okay, it is a debit investment. Okay, C is the correct answer. You can see C is the correct answer. Correct answer. Okay. So let's dive into another question also. Let's dive into another question also. The 12th question. 12th question. What it says? Which of the following groups of capital budgeting techniques uses the time value of money? Which of the following groups of capital budgeting techniques use time value of money? A. IRR, payback, and NPV. What is IRR? What's IRR? IRR is internal rate of return. Okay. Do you remember? Do you remember this? You have to remember such kind of keywords. IRR is internal rate of return. Okay. Internal rate of return, payback, and NPV, net present value. What is NPV? NPV is net present value, internal rate of return, net present value, payback. Okay. B. Book rate of return, payback, and profitability index. C. IRR, NPV, and profitability index. D. IRR, book rate of return, and profitability index. So basically, the budgeting, capital budgeting technique that uses time value of money is IRR is there actually, NPV is there also actually, profitability index is there, not payback, but profitability index is there. So C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer. Please subscribe our YouTube and become a permanent member, and you can have recent updates of new videos that we post. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's dive into the uh, 13th question. 13th question or one answer. Answer. Okay. A target who has purchased land at a price of 1,005,000. 1,005,000. Legal fees were 10,000. An old building was removed at a cost of 35,000. What amount should be recorded at the cost of the land? As you see, since Atogito has purchased a land at the price of this, but the legal fee is there also 10,000, and old building was removed at a cost also 35,000. What amount should be recorded as the cost of the land as Atogitus cost who she okay budget Atogitus budget for land price? How can we can calculate it? Basically it is summation, okay, because all our costs for auto debit. So auto debit has uh, funded for land the summation of these costs, summation of these costs, 1,005,000 plus 10,000 plus 35,000, actually 1,050,000 money. Okay, this is summation. This is summation. Okay, choice A, bir 1,040,000, B, bir 960,000, C, 1,005,000 bir, D, 1,050,000 bir. The correct answer is D, 1,050,000 bir is the money recorded as the cost of the land for Atogetu. For Atogetu. Thank you for Atogetu. Thank you. Let's see the 14th question. 14th question. It says, which one of the following audit procedures concerned with evaluating and comparing financial and non-financial data for plausible relationships? Plausible relationships. Remember, audit procedure. Which is the following audit procedure is concerned with evaluating and comparing what? Financial and non-financial data for what? Plausible relationships. A. Re-performance. Actually, re-performance is not concerned for audit procedure. B. Inspection. B. Inspection. C. Confirmation. D. Analytical procedure. Yeah, audit procedure it says, right? For comparing financial and non-financial data. Basically, analytical procedure. Analytical procedure is the audit procedure, okay? Audit procedure. So the correct answer is the analytical procedure, which is basic for evaluating and comparing financial and non-financial data. Non-financial data for uh, plausible relationships comparison. Okay, thank you. Here it says also as a definition wise, analytical procedures involve comparing. Okay, you can see here analytical procedures. Analytical procedures involve comparing financial and or non-financial data to identify trends, relationships, and potential misstatements. This aligns directly with evaluating and comparing financial and non-financial data for plausible relationships. Auditors use analytical procedures to assess the reasonableness of financial information. So, reasonableness of financial information is assessed basically by using analytical procedures. Okay, this is the basic for audit procedures. For audit procedures. Okay, thank you. The 15th question is about which one of the following divide and relevant theories? Which one of the following is divide and relevant theories? Which one of the following is divide and relevant theories? Divide and relevant theories. A. Bird in the hand theory. A. Bird in the hand theory. B. Expectation theory. C. Modigliani and Miller MM theory. D. Residual theory. Residual theory. Which are usually divide and relevant theories. Divide and relevant theories. Basically, bird in law. Okay, bird in law in the hand theory. Bird in the hand theory is the divide and relevant theory. Okay, divide and relevant theory. Okay, thank you, and please subscribe our YouTube. Then you can initiate us for further work, and please share and subscribe our YouTube. So if you have a question and if you have suggestions that or a mistakes that we can correct, or that suggestions that you need to the course you need to be done, you can send us a comment or chat in descriptions. Okay, by commenting also you can suggest if any suggestions exist, and I appreciate your kind cooperation to uh, subscribing or subscribing and sharing, subscribing and sharing, subscribing and sharing. Thank you. Please help me by that. By that, you can furtherly help us by subscribing and sharing and commenting and suggesting. Thank you for today's lesson. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we have continued our discussions about uh, such GIT exam questions. Okay, the 16th question. Gitaluk PLC invested bir 1 million in Dame Co. for 20% of its outstanding shares. 20% of its outstanding shares. For 20% of its shares, outstanding shares, he has invested the 1 million them, 1 million, okay? The amigo pays out of 40% of net income in dividends each year. Yeah, he pays 40% of net income. 40% of net income in dividends each year. Dami reported annual net income of uh, 520 520,000. It is thousand actually, but they place it dot, okay? But they place it dot, it is 20 actually, thousand actually. Dami reported annual net income of 520,000. How much was Getalux PLC's share of Dami's cost net income for the year? ሶ አመት ላይ ያለውን ኔት ኢንካም ሼር ቼክ ለማድረግ ነው የተጠየቅነው ማለት ነው። ሃው ማች ዋዝ ጌታሉክስ ፒኤልሲ ሼር ኦፍ ዳሜኮ ኔት ኢንካም ፎር ዘ ይር? ኦኬ ሃው ካን ዊ ናው ዚስ? 20% of outstanding share is there. His share is what? 20%. 20% outstanding. He has 20% of outstanding share. So we will make the net income, annual net income of the bear multiplied with outstanding share. Outstanding share. So his share is 20%. 20% means 0.2. 20%. Okay. 20% means 20 over 20% means 20% means which is equals to 20 times 1 over 100. Okay, 1 over 100. So 20 times 1 over 100 means 20 times 1 over 100 to convert. Okay, 0 cancelled by 0, 2 divided by 10. 2 divided by 10 is equals to 0 0.2. 0 0.2. So 0.2 is his outstanding share. So he in the his annual net income is 520,000. 520,000. So we have to multiply 520,000 by what? His sharing. His sharing. So 520,000 times 12 over 10 or 100, 0.2. So it becomes around 10,000, 10, 1,040,000, 1,004,000, not that, like that. 104,000, okay, 104,000, 104,000. A bir 200,000, B bir 104,000, C bir 280,000 bir, D 130,000 bir. The correct answer is B 104,000 bir. Yeah, in this kind of questions we have to consider the annual, okay, annual net income, and the outstanding share actually, outstanding share. So the correct answer is 104,000. Okay, let's dive into the 17th question. Let's dive into the 17th question. Please subscribe this YouTube channel because we need to work further. Okay, the 17th question or 17th question, what it says, the 17th question. The company standard is 6 per 6 per unit. Per 6 per unit is the company's standard actually. What kind of standard? We don't know. We will see. In variable overhead, okay, for machine hours times 1,000 1.5 per hour. Okay, okay, 6 per unit means 6 per unit means 4 machine hour is there. Machine hour how much? 4. 4 machine hour times 1.5 per hour. 1.5 per hour. This means 4 times 1.5. That is basically 6 per unit. Okay, 6. That's 6. Okay. Okay, this is a given one. Okay, actual variable overhead cost. What about actual variable overhead costs of actual variable overhead costs are there? Actual variable overhead cost. What is it? 150,000. 150,000 were incurred to produce 24,000 units. 24,000 units. So what was the question? The question is about total variable overhead variance. Total overhead variance. Total variable overhead variance. Total variable overhead variance is equals to actual variance minus budgeting variance. Actual variance or actual variable overhead. Actual variable overhead minus budgeting of variable overhead. Budgeting variable overhead. So I have placed in this. Okay, 150,000 minus 6,000, 6 times 24,000. So 150,000 minus 150,000. Okay, 150,000 minus minus 144,000. 144,000. You can say 144,000. So the correct answer becomes how much units? How much? 6,000. It becomes 6,000 unfavorable. 6,000 unfavorable. So the total variable overhead variance, total variable overhead variance becomes 6,000 unit or 6,000 unfavorable. Okay, 6,000 unfavorable. 6,000 unfavorable. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. The eighth is, or the question, the eighth question, one is question is about government bonds are considered. What about government bond? What about government bond in accounting perspective? What is it? What is government bond in accounting perspective? They are considered to be A speculative instruments, B high risk and high reward investments, C only for institutional investors, D relative low risk investments. Relative low risk investments. Government bonds, they are called basically relative low risk investments. Relative low risk investments. Okay, thank you. So D is the correct answer. 19. What is about 19? Question 19. Please subscribe our channel. We are new, we are freshers, but we have a big plan to uh, make great e-libraries, equations, worksheets, and past year exams for university students, for uh, university entrance students, for national exam takers also, and we have dedicated instructors working to explain every concept to help students freely. We are delivering major questions freely here in this YouTube. Please initiate us, motivate us by subscribing, and thank you for your consideration. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to 19th question or 19. What it says? It's question 19. What it says? What is the impact of long term or maturity? Long term or maturity on the interest rate? Long term or maturity on the interest rate? How is its impact? What's its impact? A. Longer term loans come with higher interest rates due to increased risk. B. Interest rates decrease as the loan term gets longer. Interest rates, okay? Interest rates decrease as the loan term gets longer. C. Short term loans always have a higher interest rate than longer term loans. D. The loan term has no bearing on the interest rate offered. What it says? What it says? What's the impact of loan term? Okay, loan term or maturity on the interest rate. Long term impact or maturity የኦን ኢንተረስት ሬት ላይ ያለው ኢምፓክት ምን ይመስላል ለሚለው ኤ ሎንግ ተርም ሎንስ ካም ዊዝ ሃየር ኢንተረስት ሬትስ ዲው ቱ ኢንክሪዝድ ሪስክ ቢ ኢንተረስት ሬትስ ዲክሪዝ as the long term gets longer. C. Short term loans always have a higher interest rate than longer term loans. D. The long term has no bearing on the interest rate offered. Interest rate offers. But the correct answer is the longer term loans come from with higher interest rates due to increased risks. The correct answer is so A. Correct answer is so A. So uh, long term loans come with higher interest rates due to increased risk. This is impact of long term or maturity on the interest rate. Okay. Okay, let's continue. The 20th question. 20th question. What it says? Which one of the following is not among the human resources mechanism to control over cash? Among the human resources mechanism. human resources mechanism to control over cash. Not, you have to underline it, not among, not among what? Human resources mechanism to control over cash. Please give the emphasis when you are taking exams. You have to consider the negative and positive statement in the question itself. Because when you have we have asked the negative statement question is not, excluding, except, okay, not in the category except, exceptionally, not among others. Like such kind of words are sensitive words that make your answer some special. Okay, you have to consider that. Okay, note the fall among the human resource mechanism to control over cash. Human resource mechanism to control over cash. But in that subset, not in that subset. A, conduct through background checks. Through background checks, there is spelling here, or is nothing not necessary here. Through background checks. A, conduct through background checks. B, rotate employees' duties and required employees to take action to take vacation. C, pre-numbered documentation procedures. D, bond employees conduct through background checks. This is correct. This human resource mechanism control over cash conducts through background checks. It's correct mechanism. Rotate employees' duties and required employees to take vacation. This is also correct mechanism for human resource mechanism. Pre-numbered documentation procedure. I don't think so. D, bond employees who handle cash. Bond employees who handle cash. So not among. The correct answer is C, as it has said, not among human resource mechanism to control over cash. To control over cash. ከሂውማን ሪሶርስ መካኒዝም ኦቨር ካሽን ኮንትሮል ለማድረግ ሂውማን ሪሶርስ መካኒዝም ውስጥ ያልሆነው የትኛው ነው የሚለውን ነው የሚጠይቀን። ሶ the correct answer is the one which is not the subset of human resource mechanism to control over cash. That is says C, choice C, pre-numbered documentation procedures. Okay, pre-numbered documentation procedures. Okay, thank you. This is the correct answer, which is not included in the human resources procedure. Okay, which is not included in the human resource procedure. Okay, let's dive into the next question. The next question. The next question is the 21st question, which says, which financial statement, okay, which financial statement is generally affected by the recognition of goodwill in the consolidation financial statement at the date of acquisition? Which financial statement is generally affected by recognition of goodwill? Recognition of affected by recognition of goodwill in the consolidation financial statement at the date of acquisition. Date of acquisition. A, statement of statement of statement of retained earnings. Statement of retained earnings. B, statement of profit or loss. Profit or loss. Okay. C, cash flow statement. D, statement of financial position. What it says? Which statement is generally affected by recognition of goodwill in the consolidation financial statement as the date of acquisition? Date of acquisition. Okay, financial statement is affected by recognition as a goodwill in the consolidation financial statement. Goodwill in the consolidation financial statement on the date of at the date of acquisition affected by this. Which one is Statement of financial position. Statement of financial position. So statement of financial position is affected by recognition of goodwills in the consolidation of financial statement as a date of acquisition. Okay, as a date of acquisition. So statement of returned statement of retained is not affected by goodwill of in the consolidation financial statement at the date of acquisition. B, statement of profit or this is not also affected by that. C, cash flow statement. This is not affected by um, recognition of goodwill in the consolidation financial statement. Statement of financial position. So this is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. Answer D. Not. Okay, thank you. Let's continue for the next. Let's continue for the next question. The next question. The next question is 22nd or 22. Question number 22. Which feature of preferred stock dividend gives preferred stockholders the right? Which feature of preferred stock dividend features of features of preferred stock features of okay features 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 of preferred preferred stock dividend preferred stock dividend. You have to understand this features of preferred stock dividend. So which feature of preferred stock dividend gives preferred stockholders the right to receive dividend beyond the specified rate, the right to give or to receive dividend beyond the specified rate or amount by sharing proportionally with common stockholders for any remaining amount. ፕሪፌርድ ስቶክሆልደር ለፕሪፌርድ ስቶክሆልደሮች መብት ዲቫይደንድ ከስፔሲፋይድ ሬት ወር አማውንት በላይ ዲቫይደንድ እንዲወስዱ እንዲቀበሉ መብት የሚሰጥ ፕሮፖርሽናሊ ምን ጋር በማካፈል ነው ሼር በማድረግ ነው በኮመን ስቴክ ሆልደርስ ፎር ኤኒ ሪሜኒንግ አማውንት ላይ ሼር በማድረግ የፕሪፌርድ ስቶክ ሆልደርስ ዲቫይደንድ ቢየንድ ስፔሲፋይድ ወይም ከስፔሲፋይድ ሬት ኦር አማውንት በላይ ሼሪንግ እንዲወስዱ የሚፈቅድ የፕሪፌርድ ስቶክ ዲቫይደንድ ፊቸር የትኛው ነው እያለ ያለው? የትኛው ነው እያለ ያለው? ኤ ፓርቲሲፔቲቭ፣ ቢ ነን ፓርቲሲፔቲቭ፣ ሲ ነን ኩሙሌቲቭ፣ ዲ ኩሙሌቲቭ። ዋት አባውት ፓርቲሲፔቲቭ? ኤ participative. What does it say? What's its meaning? Participative preferred stock. I have said that we have to consider features of preferred stock dividend. Preferred stock dividend. Participative preferred stock allows preferred stockholders. Okay. Preferred allows ይፈቅዳል ማለት ነው። Preferred stockholders to share the distribution of additional dividends after the stated ዲቫይደንድ ሬት ኦን ዘ ፕሪፌርድ ስቶክ ሃዝ ቢን ፔድ። እንግዲህ ስቴትድ ዲቫይደንድ ሬቱ በፕሪፌርድ ስቶክ ከተከፈለ በኋላ ስቴክ ሆልደሮችን ዲስትሪቢዩሽን ኦፍ አዲሽናል ዲቫይደንድ ተጨማሪ ዲቫይደንድ ዲስትሪቢዩሽን እንዲኖር ይፈቅዳል። ይሄኛው ፓርቲሲፔቲቭ ፕሪፌርድ ስቶክ ይባላል። They participate in any extra dividends remaining after common stockholders also receive their share. እንግዲህ ኮመን ስቶክሆልደሮች የራሳቸውን ድርሻ ወይም ሼር ከወሰዱ በኋላ ራሱ ፓርቲሲፔት ያደርጋሉ ማለት ነው። ፓርቲሲፔት ያደርጋሉ። allows preferred stockholders to share in the distribution. That is called participative preferred stock. participative preferred stock የምንለው ይሄኛው ነው ማለት ነው። participative preferred stock እንለዋለን። So participative preferred stock or this one allows preferred stockholders to share in the distribution of additional dividends after the stated dividend rate on the preferred stock has been paid. They participate in an extra dividends remaining after the stock common stockholders also receive their share. ኮመን ስቶክሆልደሮች ሼሩን ከወሰዱ በኋላ ራሱ ኤክስትራ ዲቫይደንድ ሪሜኒንግ ላይ ፓርቲሲፔት ያስደርጋል ማለት ነው። ፓርቲሲፔት ያስደርጋል። ዚስ ኢዝ ዋት አባውት ፓርቲሲፔቲቭ preferred stock. Participating preferred stock. Okay, you have to understand this. You have to understand and you have to use this basic concept. Okay, the second question is about the next question is about 23rd or the 23rd 23 question number 23. Which of the following is contingent liability? Contingent liability. Which of the following is contingent liability? A. Decommissioning nuclear facilities. B. Dismantling, restoring, and reclamation of oil and gas properties. C. A lawsuit in which it is only possible that the company made loss. D. Acquisition of goods by purchase on credit. Contingent liability. Contingent liability. Which one is a contingent liability? It is asking, right? Contingent liability. It is acquisition of goods by purchase on credit. Is it? No. It is lawsuit, which it is only possible that company made loss. Company made loss. So C is the correct answer. Okay, C is the correct answer. It's asking about contingent liability. It's asking about contingent liability. Contingent liability. So so I appreciate your kindness to view and to learn on this YouTube. Please initiate us by subscribing, by subscribing, by subscribing, and by doing so, you will help us to motivate further to do further works, and you can get recent updates of for this YouTube also. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for today's lesson. It is enough.